Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching the 100. This episode 3 of the 5th season. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far, and if you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in and enjoy. So I've got to say, I've enjoyed the pacing of the first 2 episodes. I enjoyed how we focused heavily on Clark in episode 1. Yes, we did get a bit of a bit of the arc with Bellamy up there, you know what I mean, and Monty Murphy and co. And then we also got just a small little segment of Octavia sat in the bunker, but heavily focused on Clark and her story. And obviously the people coming down from the ship who ended up killing a couple of them and kind of being territorial about it, you know, the land that she's living in. And then obviously last episode we was focusing all on Octavia in the bunker. So I would really enjoy if it is today's episode we focused in the arc. Do you know what I mean? We see how Murphy ends up being obviously, you know, at heads with Amora. Why is it that he's living on the other side of the ship? That'll be interesting to see as well, and I would like to see their whole story, and hopefully that is today's episode, because the last episode it was the bunker, and we did learn quite early on that even though everybody's living down there, 100 people from each clan, that's actually too much. You know, population is too high, and they don't really have the resources that can sustain, you know, enough food for everybody for the 5 years. Now we actually know that they've lived there for 6 years, you know, after watching episode 1. We're 6 years into the future and nobody's actually come down to Earth. Clark's still on her own. But the interesting thing is, obviously, we've seen how we ended up playing up to that factor in last episode, because we've seen it that obviously everybody's down there, they haven't really got a council, they've got a table that they're all sat behind, and everybody's moaning and throwing in their 2 cents, you know what I mean, and how everything's supposed to, you know, be working, and what punishments are supposed to be happening when somebody breaks the rules, etc. And like, somebody was just stealing blankets, do you know what I mean? And Octavia's like, just give it them back. Jaha was like to Octavia, you need to get some sort of system going, you need to get them to respect you. The interesting thing is, last episode is one of the people from the Ark actually managed to I don't know, kind of steal the area where the food is being stored, and pretty much she was like, look mate, if anybody's going to survive down here, it's going to be us. We're not going to rationalise the food, we're not going to have half rations, we're going to have full meals, and you know, everybody else who's on the outside of that door, unlucky to them, we're taking what's ours. Now, Octavia, she has stood up and she's like, we are one crew. You're not Sky Crew, you're not Tree Crew, we are one crew. And she actually said as well, mate, if you're not one crew, you are the enemy. And like, she was fighting. She was there, she was killing, she was going through it, she was getting darker, there was blood all over, it was sick. And she ended up obviously being victorious before everybody knelt down to her. Then with the help of Jaha, she opened the door, she went inside, she got all of the people that obviously took everybody captive, and she put them in a pit. She was like, look mate, in Rome the gladiators had a chance to survive, this is going to be the same for you. She got a sword, threw it down there into the pit, and she was like, look, conclave rules, the last person who survives, they will stay alive. And then we just seen scrap after scrap after scrap before transitioning into the present day, where she was sat on her throne, do you know what I mean? And that is where I was saying it looks dead dark, and that is the future where she currently is. So very exciting. I really enjoyed that story progression, and I can't wait to see, hopefully, what's going on in the art today. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode. Whoa. Whoa, that's a mad one.
We can kill him now, right? Not yet.
You gotta shoot him when everybody's there to show they're not messing about. We're gonna see this weapon. Let's have a look at this, mate. Whoa.
Run! You're on the move. Go to the ship. Give me a stretcher and a med kit.
A med kit? I didn't know they taught thoracic surgery and SEAL training.
Fury's still useful. And so are you for now.
Seems like him and that other dude don't like each other. Do you know, the one with the hat? So, have they left then? They have.
It looks like one of the engines was destroyed.
If they were still inside and saw a foreign ship trying to board them, they would shoot us out of the sky.
Okay, we're in alignment.
I mean, that's some crazy docking station, that. It looks so small, like the gap to get in. Yo, Bellamy looks pretty decent. I like it.
Gotta move fast.
was here, they'd shut it off, right?
Again, that is true.
That was a big impact. We didn't know if we took on any damage.
This place is like a maze. Inmates past this point.
There's some people they thought were disposable.
Sounds familiar.
It is familiar.
Ancestors were prisoners 100 years ago.
Thank you.
Do you reckon anybody's left on that ship? Somebody's been left behind?
Just because this ship doesn't run on hydrazine doesn't mean they don't have any on board. Boom. The crowd goes wild.
McCreary, I'm not losing any more men today.
Well, can we talk to them?
Oh, wait, we don't know who we're dealing with.
Movement to the northwest. McCreary, you see it? I've got something better than movement. I've got tracks.
To the North Cape.
Oh. Before we go into that, that's pretty good, that, actually. And, you know, it did make a lot of sense what he was saying there. Like, if somebody was on that ship, then they would be getting stopped, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you was on a ship and something was approaching, then either you would send, I don't know, a ship out to warn them, or you try and shoot them down. So, like, that whole thing is empty. Nobody's there. Now, I think it'd be interesting me if actually somebody was left behind, which I doubt it, very much doubt it. That would be good. And Raven, what she just said as well, which I think is quite good actually, is we seen the ship land on the Earth and it says prisoner transport, and automatically, and if you done it as well, you know, I think you got every right to think that is the people on there was prisoners. Now she's saying actually I don't think they are prisoners. You know, 100 years ago it might have been prisoners, but now these are not. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the people next in line of the families. Do you know what I mean? These are the survivors. These are the people going down to Earth. Now, they could be prisoners or they could not be. It seems like the ones that actually have come down to Earth are actually not prisoners. They seem to be, you know, what would you say, like Marine? Did he say he was a Marine? They seem to be quite combated, do you know what I mean? Like, advanced. And did he say in episode 1 or something? Like, let's find out what's happened to our Earth while we was asleep. So, have they actually been alive in the Ark just like they have, so to speak? Or, and they just classing that as asleep? Or, like, have they actually been in pods or something like the film Passengers where you actually were asleep? It's interesting.
Subject is armed and dangerous. We are in her backyard. She knows the terrain.
I need you to stay out of sight, no matter what. Promise me. I love you.
I see her. Moving in. We'll go south and cut her off. McCreary, we heard gunfire. Report. Relax, Colonel. I told you we'd get her, and we did. Good work. Bring her to me.
I don't know, man. You know, when you're saying now, I think I would try to find out, but like I'd have somebody sat on that radio listening 24/7, me, acquiring as much information as possible, finding out whether, you know, they are bad or they're actually, do you know what I mean? Just like you, who lived in space and now they're trying to find Earth as being habitable. Do you know what I mean? That I would acquire as much info as possible so I knew what I was getting myself into once I go down to the ground.
Let me see her face.
You only caught one?
We only saw one.
Don't speak English.
Thinking using McCreary for this is a bad idea.
She killed 4 of our people.
After we landed in their valley and we took their village.
Symphony alarm was triggered near the primary docking port on the mothership.
Did you activate Kodiak?
Not yet.
We have
No,
security protocols. Follow them.
I'll speak the other language so that you didn't think I'd understand them.
Hey, stop!
We have a role to play. Take a team and sweep the woods for her friends.
You see this?
Blood alteration like they had on Allegiance 3. 2 suns, no sunscreen needed.
We got off on the wrong foot, you and I. We had no idea that there was anyone alive down here. And then your people started killing mine. Just like you were upset when we took your village. When the fascist government tried to take my home, I wanted blood too. Nobody else has to die today. And we can come up with an arrangement that works for all of us. She speaks English. She just wants us to think she doesn't, so we'll speak freely and reveal something she can use against us. She's tracking our movements, that's all she cares about.
I'm actually liking it, me. I really would like to know their intentions, whether it is that they just want to stay alive.
It's pretty clear you'd rather we stay in the ring.
You mean where we were safe? Plenty of water, friends, people we love. Why would anyone want to stay there?
You need to see this.
All the prisoners are still there. Well, there's going to be people there. I thought that's what they would have slept in themselves.
We already got the fuel, man. Let's just load it up and get the hell out of here.
Let's go.
It always happens, that, doesn't it? It always happens, you know what I mean? Like, you go in there, you see them all, it's like, wow, what's going on? Somebody always wakes up. just like that film Passengers, I said it, mate. That's interesting. So obviously they have been in this kind of sleep thing, and it is true then what they said. While he was asleep, the world's been destroyed. As they've awoken, they've come down, they found this land. They've obviously took the village because it's the only habitable place right now. Obviously, Clark's retaliated by killing a few of them. She could tell that obviously Clark knows what she's talking about because she keeps listening to the radio and she keeps turning and listening to it to see what's happening with Maddie. And, you know, now she's give the orders to kill. But they're not going to kill the young girl, are they? But it is good. I'm liking, again, the direction it's going. It's interesting.
It was your first time with the controls. Stop beating yourself up over it.
It's time to go. Harper! I need the siphon. You were talking about me, weren't you?
Don't flatter yourself, John.
The captain's log.
Last entry was over 100 years ago.
Prisoners found out about Order 11. They used an explosion in the starboard engine bay as a distraction. The engine damage, it'll be decades, maybe longer before they make it back home. I tried disabling cryo, but couldn't.
That's quite enough, Captain.
I said blow it!
Oh, that's her who's done that?
Get us the hell out of here, Lieutenant.
He's got a sword. That's like super strong. He must be wounded him. He's been asleep for what, like 100 years? He got killed as soon as he awoke.
What happened to you?
One of them woke up.
Question is, how?
No, the question is, what the hell are we waiting for? I'm serious, okay? We're all gassed up. Let's pull the plug on the sleeping army and go home.
Bellamy, you know what happens when these guys get to the ground. Murphy's not wrong.
We've been off the ring for less than a day and we're already talking about murdering hundreds of people.
They die now or we die later. If Clark was here, this wouldn't even be...
Clark's not here.
Exactly.
Can you rig it so we can kill them remotely?
It's tricky, but possible. Why?
Leverage. Put down your weapons or we pull the plug. Clark didn't die for us to live, just so we can go back to the ground and make the same mistake.
Let's be good guys.
What, right? I was interested there because I do, well, up until what they've just said there, firmly believe that they should be pulling the plug and killing all of those 299 people. We've seen how strong that guy was. It did take 3 of them. He took a stab literally right through him with a big, massive knife and he was still going. Now, what Murphy was saying was right. All they're going to do is either wake these up and they're going to come and attack us, or what they're going to do is they're going to come up and they're going to get them and they're going to go down to earth and then they'll attack us in the future. So what we need to do, the smart, logical thing, is to eliminate them now. We need to stop our future problems, stop a future army coming to get us. I agree with all of that. I would kill them all. But I do think that the better option, now that it's been proposed, is they believe, or they think that they're hunting their friends that are on the earth. They don't know it's Clark. They might think it's Octavia, the people from the bunkers. So they know they're down there and they're chasing their people. Now, the better option would be to be able to kill them remotely and use them as leverage, so to speak. So it's like, look, mate, you're on the ground and you're going after our people. We're in the sky and we've got your people. You know what I'm saying? If you leave them alone, we'll leave you. And, like, I would possibly say that is a better way for them, because if they killed everybody right now, when they find out, they might just kill everybody on the ground. Now, if they can communicate and say, look, mate, you know, you've got ours, we've got yours, maybe they could cut a deal and something can be done in between there. So probably is better to do it that way, to be honest. But I do think in the end, they all do need to die. Whether it's you get your people back and then you pull the plug remotely and kill them all, crazy, but it needs to be done, because like I said, mate, you know, they'll come after you. I think, anyway, they'll come after you at one point. This guy does seem okay, to be honest. Again, be interesting to see.
When harm can come from telling you your name. I was an altar boy in a church just like this. About 2 hours outside Detroit. I'm a Harley, but making it one. God, I missed that bike.
Oh, these guys was alive before the apocalypse. That's sick, that.
She's just a child. Tell them not to shoot.
Fire at will.
I know where they are. That's our summer hunting grounds. She's leading him into a trap. If you let her go, I'll tell you everything.
Stand down.
Son of a bitch. Another bear trap. Almost stepped right in it.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling the truth. As long as you keep doing that, your friend in the woods will stay alive, and so will you. Start with how the world ended.
Which time?
Okay, so again, I might have just missed something. When he was talking about being on his Harley and he misses it, yeah, I kind of thought that they knew the world was ending the first time. So, like, what these done was went up, put themselves in the pods and hibernated for the 100 years. And then they was going to come back down to Earth after the radiation had gone, where it was habitable again. But they've come down and then it's ruined again. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of my perception of it. But now, after that conversation just ended there, it just seems like, in general, altogether, they have no idea that the world ended at all. So I don't know. I'm trying to put the pieces together, to be honest. I think that it's quite intriguing, the fact that, you know, these have sounded like they've been on the Earth and lived before, but then they have, like, no concept of how the Earth had been destroyed in the past life. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, it's interesting. And also, I didn't quite fully get their storyline on the ship that Bellamy is on, because we did see that clip of the I don't know, the captain of the crew doing a vlog. These come running in the background and killed him. She was the one that turned it off. Did they say it was Cerberus or something? Again, I have no idea. It happened rapid, so I didn't pick up what was going on. I didn't pick up if these was prisoners as well at the time they come in and killed him, or who he was. I know the prisoners are there now in the pods, but yeah, like, to be honest, I know these are on the ground and they attacked him a little bit and they've gone after it, but, you know, all they done technically is land like Clark did in season 1. Clark attacked them like the grounders and then they've retaliated, so it's similar. I can't really blame them for going after Clark and co, but what I've seen so far, they're not too bad yet. But that's episode 3. Do you know what I mean? We've got loads to go yet.
Someone has to stay up here. I've played out every angle. This only works if we have eyes on the ground. Once everyone's friends, they'll come back up for their people, and I'll hitch a ride down with them.
What if the threat doesn't work? You'll be stuck up here, Raven. You'll have to kill 300 people.
There's an escape pod, you idiot. For the captain and first mate. Over if you fail. You can go down to that.
Yeah, I hope you're telling the truth, mate, because that's fine then. That is fine.
Let me get you all home.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. She actually does have a ship that she can go down herself when the time comes.
Someone has to run things from here.
So let it be John.
It's technical. Once we have a truce, she'll come down with the prisoners. If we fail, she'll take the ship's escape pod.
I'm staying too.
Yeah, it's a 2-seater ship, innit?
Raven might need backup. The more you're flying, this is the survivor's move.
At least Raven's not on her own now.
Murphy, what the hell are you doing here?
Keeping you company. I'm so surprised. I mean, if there wasn't an escape pod, I could understand.
There isn't an escape pod. You know what? You're right. Dying alone would have sucked.
Son of a bitch.
Innit? Typical Murphy move. Mate, that is one chilling landing, that. Look how slow it is. Perfectly landed. I'm an astronaut! Mate, she smashed that.
No, we didn't.
There's no telling how many people saw us. We need to take cover in the trees before they get here.
So how do we find them?
They'll find us.
They already have.
Everybody, on your knees. More hostiles. At least one is armed.
Find out where they are and reinforce their position. What did I tell you would happen if you lied to me?
I'm sorry, but they've just seen a ship come down. It literally makes no sense.
4 of ours are dead. It's time to even the score.
Oh, mate, who's this? Yes, Maddie.
Bellamy?
Oh, yeah, she knows the pictures.
Clark knew you would come.
Clark's alive.
She's in trouble. We have to go.
Yo, that's sick because she knows the story from the books.
I think you made your point.
Hit her again.
It's not going to be Bellamy just turning up instantly, is it? Just here now.
Give me one good reason not to kill you where you stand.
How about I give you 283? That's how many
Yes.
of your people are gonna die if you and I can't make a deal.
That's far enough. 283 lives, for one. She must be pretty important to you.
She is.
What are we saying? What are we saying? Like, in my personal opinion, A bold statement about to be thrown, but like, I think that this season has started the best that we've had so far, in my personal opinion. I'm really enjoying it. Season 5, mate, who would have thought, like, 5 seasons in, and you'd be whipping out, like, possibly the best season so far? I'm loving it. I actually really am. I think it's so intriguing. You know, you've got these people here, again, they're the unknown. I still don't know if they're good or bad. Obviously, they're portraying as the bad people, but, like, there's so much story that we can be told from them. I'm excited, and I just think it's so good. Like, the way Bellamy's just only shown himself then, and the rest didn't come. I was wondering what's going to actually happen. Like, how's he going to go in and do anything? And then boom, mate, he bossed it. I totally forgot about them being up, obviously, on the ship. He brought the cup down as well to show that he's not chatting, that he's actually been there and he knows the score and he can take them out. And, like, he is in possibly the leverage position now. Do you know what I mean? They have to listen to him. Now, it'd be interesting to see how much they actually care about the prisoners themselves. Do you know what I mean? But, like, again, I don't understand how they didn't believe Clark was telling the truth, because she was revealing quite a lot of information. She actually was. She was telling him lots of stuff. She told him where the traps was, you know what I mean? Told him to obviously leave Maddie alone. Told him don't go in there. Told him about, obviously, like, prime fire or whatnot, and, like, the first wave and what was going on. And yeah, they did find new people, but they seen the ship land. They full on found them stood next to a rocket. Do you know what I mean? Like, clearly, whatever's, they wasn't, well, they are got some sort of association with Clark, but in terms of Clark's people hiding in the trees, they had no association to them because they've only just come back down to Earth. So again, that one was interesting. Like I said, mate, the guy that was saying about his bike and stuff, he seems like the okay one. He's like the Lincoln of the group. Do you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like we're not doing season 1 again. Sometimes, what's the saying? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And it's one of them. Season 1 was great. And if you can kind of go back to the roots and, like, use some similarities, then you know you're going to do well. So the fact is, obviously, like, somebody come down to Earth and Clark's defending it the way, obviously, Clark come down to Earth and the Grounders defended it. And then you had Lincoln, who was supposed to be part of the Grounders, who was kind of like a good guy and kind of got a connection with Octavia. And then you got this guy who's supposed to be, obviously, on their team, and he seems to not be getting on with them quite a lot and kind of showing not support to Clark, but a bit of, I don't know, just understanding and just being nice in general. Similarities. It is similarities, and it's exciting, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Like I said, mate, and a bold statement, but I do feel like we started the season really, really well. It could be considered as one of the best openings that we've had to one of the seasons so far, and we're on the 5th one. Okay, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Very interesting stuff that's going on, to be honest. You know, I'm liking these people that have hit the ground and what's been going on, obviously, with them and their backstory. The fact is, obviously, they've left their ship now, haven't they? They've left the Ark. They only had one chance. Like, what is it? Monty was saying, if we leave here, that's our only hope. If they're not going to let us dock, that's it, we're screwed. We're not going to be able to get back. Now, the thing is, they did go over there. Nobody come out to restrict them, you know, stop them from docking. And they've gone in and the ship's free. The alarm's going off. Nobody's turned it off. It shows that it's empty. Now, what's interesting is it's not fully empty, is it, mate? Because we've seen the pods. Now, what I actually don't really understand is that they killed one of the guys. And I'm pretty sure early on in the episode, they said that there's another 299 bodies that was in there. But then when Bellamy's just come down to the Earth, he was saying something about 283. Those numbers don't match. I swear down, if you go back and listen, them numbers ain't matching. He said 2 different numbers. But it's interesting looking at the story. You know, we're seeing the original commander of the ship or whatever's be attacked. They blew a hole in the door. They come in, they killed him, didn't they? It was that woman. Now, obviously, she's come down to the ground. And, I don't know, she's acting kind of like all nice or something. But again, who knows the true agenda? Why was he up there in the first place? You know, the guy, like I said, who's kind of being nice to Clark, was talking that he's been on the Earth on his bike, his Harley, driving around, loving it. He's been in churches before. And then, obviously, now he's here. He doesn't really know how the world's ended. What happened to him? How did he get from that position to where he was to back down? Do you know what I mean? Was he in one of these capsules? If he was, how did he become a prisoner? Or if he wasn't a prisoner, like, who was it? Like, their story's pretty good. And, like, I'm excited to find out more about it. And again, like I said, the way they paced it and they've decided to, I don't know, reveal the characters is great in my opinion. I use a reference to Game of Thrones where you've got so many characters that you don't have to have everybody in the episode. When you've got a small cast, everybody's got to be there all the time, fully engaged and involved. When you've got like so much going on and you've got quite a lot of people, you don't have to have them in the episode. So for example, like I said, episode 1, it was kind of all Clark, and we had Octavia in the chair for like 5 seconds, and we had a tiny bit on the art to show that they were still alive. Then episode 2, it was just all it was all Octavia down there in the bunker. In episode 3, no reference to Octavia at all. Nothing. No reference to the death of Jaha. No Kane, no Abby, no Octavia Injure now, and we just focused on what's been going on the Earth with Maddie, Clark, and then what's been going on obviously in space. Now it's interesting the fact that Raven's in space and she sacrificed herself, pretty much telling Bellamy that she'd be able to come down in the dropship. Now the thing is, she was obviously lying. Murphy's been screwed off that as well. He was trying to be the nice guy. Obviously everybody's kind of giving him some slack, and well, everybody's kind of, you know, giving him a bit of hate right now. It's interesting that Amori said that the reason why they kind of fell out is that he never really done anything to help people get back down to Earth. I think that's what she was saying, anything to Harper. The reason why they kind of fell out is that he was never doing anything that would help them, you know, possibly return. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because like, you know, from his conversations, he's always wanting to go down. Do you know what I mean? Like, he even's been counting the days. He knows it's 2,101 or something days to the exact how long they've been in space. So I don't know, that's different. But again, he was trying to, you know, throw some digs at him there, and he was like, right, I'll stay, give Raven a bit of company. But there isn't a dropship. Do you know what I mean? She was chatting, and she knew that if Bellamy knew that there wasn't one, then he wouldn't let her do it. But I do think as well that if they can get like a relationship forged with these or whatnot, they can either steal their ship and go up, or like they can go up and get them as well. Do you know what I mean? I do think there's a way that you can go up and then bring them back down. But really interesting. Can't wait to find out. I think it's very good. The way it's played out has been great so far. I like the fact that Maddie knew who Bellamy and Cole was because of the books and the stories that Clark's been telling her and the drawings. It totally fits dead easy. Makes total sense. It's not like, oh mate, how does she know what Bellamy is? It's literally, sometimes the tiniest bit of info works perfect, and like her looking at that book for like 1 second or seeing it makes it, you know, understandable like so quick. So it's great, and I can't wait to watch the next episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.